Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be going over the basics of how to work with EVA Foam. If you want to create really cool stuff, like on the screen right now, then you're going to want to watch this video. Now you guys might be thinking, what could I possibly make with EVA Foam that would look really realistic? Well, here are some examples I can show you from things I've created in the past. Things like this, and things like that. I know, it's crazy. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can get started with it and how you can break down really big projects into smaller steps. Now the first step in creating something out of EVA Foam is deciding on which character you want to do. That might be a character from a video game, a character from a movie, or a character from a TV show. Either of that is fine. Now some of these reference photos can come straight from Google, even Pinterest, and sometimes other cosplayers that can be found on Instagram or Twitter. Once you gather all these reference photos, it's really important to create a folder to house everything for what you might need later. Now, actually moving on to the EVA foam. Once you're all set and got your reference photos, it's important to choose the size of foam you want to work with. There are many different sizes and many different hardnesses and thicknesses that you can choose from. I'm going to link websites down below where you can find the perfect EVA foam for your projects. Now, depending on what you're making, there's different thickness foam for different needs. Over here, we've got 6mm EVA foam, then next to it we've got 4mm, 2mm, and then some foam dowels. You may even want to use foam sheets that are found at Home Depot that look like this. They're basically gym mats that have a textured side and a smooth side. They're about 10mm in thickness, and it comes 4 to a pack. Now the foam that you're seeing here is not just the standard types of foam. There are of course different thickness of foam, such as high density and low density foam. Lower density foam is cheaper and tends to be more flexible, so I would go with that when choosing your first build. Now if you need something specific, you can always try Foam foam clay. It's basically a clay that air dries into foam when you're all done sculpting. So actually taking a look at the Foam clay, which can be found on Amazon for around $20, it's very stringy and stretchy material, much like clay, that you can sculpt into whatever shapes you might need for your projects. Now once you have something sculpted from your foam, you just let it sit out for about 2 days to dry, and then you seal it right back up and it's ready to use the next time you want to build something again. Now as for patterns, you guys might be dumbfounded on where to start. So you can see I have something called Tifa patterns, which I drew up myself to my own measurements. Now if you guys don't feel comfortable drawing your own patterns, which is understandable, there are plenty of options you can do to secure patterns for yourself using your own measurements. Patterns are the most important part to looking accurate to your character. Whether it's making a prop or making a wearable piece of armor, you want to buy patterns or design patterns that are going to fit your body and your measurements. Pre-made patterns sometimes come with directions that you can follow for cutting out the EVA foam and sometimes sanding the EVA foam. These are your best bet if you're a beginner. So now I'm going to show you how my Tifa patterns contributed to what I made for her gauntlets. As you can see, I have them all in a bag here that I'm now going to take out and display for you. We have the contents of the patterning, which consists of the arm guard, the elbow guard, and the upper arm guard. I'm going to show you how these contributed to making the result of the gauntlet. And there you go, that's what the finished product of my gauntlet looked like, made from the patterns that I used in the previous clip. These patterns will be for sale on my Etsy in the future for anybody looking to make Tifa's gauntlets from Final Fantasy VII. Now I'm going to be showing you the most important glues you should be using when gluing EVA foam together. The strongest glue, in my opinion, is barge contact cement, which can be also substituted for weldwood contact cement. The second option is Gorilla Glue. It's a super glue that's fast drying and sticks pieces of EVA foam together very well. You can even use small tubes of Crazy Glue or any equivalent that can be found in craft stores. Although these wear down over time, contact cement is your best bet, and I will have a future video explaining how to use it. Once all of your pieces are glued together, you're going to want to think about priming your piece for painting. The most important thing I use is Plasti-Dip, as it has a very matte finish and reflects light very well. It tends not to crack as well with the paint on top of it compared to the Mod Podge options. Mod Podge is a good sealant and it has a glossy option, but it does crack when used on flexible parts of armor or parts of props. 1 to 3 coats of either of these primers should be sufficient enough to prime it for painting. Although Mod Podge does crack on flexible pieces, it's better to go with Plasti-Dip for newcomers. Here are just some examples of things that I made priming using Plasti-Dip. Very metallic look and reflects the light very well, and is also very flexible. Using a flexible primer is very important, especially when making materials that are meant to move or meant to be worn on your body. As you can see, there is huge amounts of flex in this piece, with no cracking of the paint and no cracking of the primer. Now once you're all done priming, it's time for painting your piece. You can use standard paint brushes and standard acrylic paints. These are just two of my favorite brands to use, which is Liquitex and Golden Paints. They can be on the expensive side, but other acrylic paints can be equivalent to this. Now when painting with acrylics, you do get some nasty brush lines if you're not careful with the strokes. Because of this, you're able to use an airbrush or any other tool that you want to use for painting. Absolutely under no circumstance do not use spray paint on your primed props and objects. This will cause heavy cracking if something is knocked into it, or if the piece is meant to flex but cannot flex due to the nature of the spray paint. Only use flexible paints such as water-based paints, aka acrylics, or anything that has water-based in the description. Congratulations guys, you've successfully made it to the end of this video. Thank you guys for staying this long, and if I did help you with any of your foam needs, please let me know, follow me on Instagram, and hit the subscribe button for any future cosplay tutorials. This is what I'm going to try to stick with on my channel for now. I know I've been all over the place, but make sure you guys subscribe if you are interested in this, and I hope I helped you guys out. Please let me know if I did by sending your pictures to the DM at Stormbreaker Cosplay. Thanks again guys, take care.